After around 180 hours in Arc Raiders, it's time for some honest feedback. And I want to say this right away. I was never a big fan of extraction shooters. I come from the battlefield side of things, like large maps, clear fronts, and pure chaos. Helldivers, for example, completely lost me after 2 days. Arc Raiders wasn't really my kind of game either. At least that's what I thought. Until a friend pulled me in, and from that point on, things got interesting. Very interesting. What makes Arc Raiders special right from the start isn't just the visuals, but the atmosphere. And a huge part of that atmosphere comes from the sound design. Emotions are carried through sound here, through silence, through distant metallic footsteps, and through that deep, ominous hum where you know there's an arc nearby. You can't see it yet, but you feel it. From the menu all the way into a raid, everything feels incredibly cohesive. This isn't just well done, it's cinematic. Battlefield looks great, no doubt about that. But Arc Raiders feels like a movie you're actively playing, and that's exactly what pulls you in. After about 100 hours, I reached level 75. What I really like about the skill tree is that there is no perfect solution. There's no single build that does everything. Your playstyle defines your choices. Whether you focus on PvE, lean more toward PvP, or prioritize looting, you play differently, so you build differently. The best part is that you can reset your skill tree at any time. Yes, it costs Raider tokens, but you earn those naturally just by playing. It never feels like a punishment, but it feels like freedom. And that kind of freedom is something many shooters are missing. One aspect that doesn't get talked about nearly enough is the arcs themselves and how they evolve. Embark doesn't use AI as a marketing buzzword here. It's a core gameplay element. The arcs don't stay static. They adapt. They become more aggressive, more tactical, and more unpredictable. At first, you might think you figured everything out, and later you realize you haven't. Pops, ticks, and jumpers force you to change how you approach fights. Flying enemies no longer stay outside. They follow you into buildings, into tight spaces. Larger arcs punish mistakes relentlessly. Even boss fights like the Queen or the Matriarch follow this rule. You learn them, yes, but you never become careless, and that's exactly what keeps the PvE engaging even after hundreds of hours. Now let's talk about PvP. And this is where I want to be completely honest. Arc Raiders is special because it shows real people making real decisions. And unfortunately, that also means showing their darker sides. There are players who engage in morally questionable behavior. Players who contribute nothing during a Matriarch fight, stay in the background and wait for others to go down, only to knock them out and loot them afterward. Others camp extraction points, avoiding fair fights entirely and instead ambushing players just to steal their loot. Honestly, I have a serious issue with players who only attack when someone is looting, stuck in a menu, unable to fight back, and usually shot from behind. To me, that has nothing to do with PvP. It's not skillful, it's not tense, it's cowardly and underhanded. But this is also where Arc Raiders becomes truly special, because those players aren't the whole picture. There are also the good ones, players who help, who revive you, who move on without expecting anything in return. And it's exactly this mix that defines the experience. You never know who you're going to meet. And that uncertainty creates real, meaningful moments. I've genuinely found good buddies in Arc Raiders, and that doesn't happen often in online games. I also want to touch briefly on the current update. I think the solo versus squad mode is a good addition, especially because it gives PvP-focused players a space to go all out without ruining the experience for others. That said, what I would have loved even more is the option to form spontaneous squads while playing solo. Not permanent teams, no long-term commitments, just temporary alliances, especially to band together against cheaters or particularly predatory players to take them down and then go separate ways again. That would have fit Arc Raiders' philosophy perfectly, in my opinion. No game has kept me this engaged since GTA 5, A lot of people say Arc Raiders doesn't have a future, but I strongly disagree. Embark continues to deliver updates, new content, and new systems. And more importantly, they listen to the community. Arc Raiders doesn't feel like a quick cash grab. It feels like a project that's meant to grow. Compared to yearly franchise releases, it feels fresh, bold, and independent. It doesn't follow trends, it creates them. Arc Raiders isn't a perfect game, but it is an honest one. And that's exactly why I'm sticking with it. Thanks a lot for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to share your opinion in the comments. And if you want more Arc Raiders content in the future, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. By the way, for everyone who loves epic cinematic moments just as much as I do, you can also check out my own soundtrack, Goop Goop Goop, that I created specifically for Arc Raiders. You'll find the video right here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.